Paddy. We're back again for another discussion on helping athletes and their mental training. And today we're talking about a topic that's really important and also really easy for people to look past. And that's the importance of using play to succeed, and how sometimes play can seem a little bit trivial or unnecessary. And so oftentimes it's overlooked, but I think today we really need to talk about how it's actually an essential part of being successful for an athlete. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Yep. A topic that definitely deserves time. And I'm just going to turn my phone off to make sure that I don't go into any playful conversations while we're in the middle of the YouTube. Mate, great topic. Look, you and I have probably spent most of our sporting kind of life playing golf, and the amount of golfers out there that are kind of stiff, don't really come across that playful, they're a bit serious, and how much it holds them back is ridiculous. They play most of their life in this state of trying so hard, over trying, being serious, not being able to access play and creativity. And yeah, something needs to be done about it. So let's get into it.
They'll spend a casual Saturday with friends, angry for 4 hours. And it's maybe there's something wrong with my mindset here. That's for casual athletes, but I think it's also massive for really competitive ones as well. So
being able to harness play, and both in training and in competition. So I think you and I come from a space with this where it's essential rather than I'm a professional sports person or serious elite athlete, and every now and then I have a bit of fun with my sport. You and I view it as, hey, hold on, if you're going to do this sport thing, you'd better want to have a nice playful, I love what I do mindset,
I think a lot of it comes from society and looking at success as being hard work. So I go to work, I go to school, I have to study really hard, be really disciplined, grind it out, put in the hard yards. And so it's and that also bleeds into athletes thinking about being successful in their sport. It's always serious, it's always hard work and commitment. And there's just no room for play in that mindset. And it's really not the right way to go about success, because achieving the most you can as an athlete, you really need to be incorporating it as much as possible.
Yeah, what about the typical example where you start, you grow up as a kid, you're playing sport, you love it, all you want to do is hang out with your friends and play that sport, and then, we come across some of them where they get that good that they then decide to turn into a professional in whatever it is, and then you're having a chat with them 6 months or a year into, elite status level or something, I can't stand this, this thing that I've done all my life that used to be so much fun and joy for me now, I don't want to do it. And then people around them are how can you not want to do it? You've done this all your life. That's all we've known you as. This is what we've seen you as. It gives you the most joy. And it's if people don't wrap their head around it correctly, it can be a dream killer.
For sure. Or we talk about burnout and how it's really common in elite athletes. I think a lot of them, it could be because they've ignored the importance of play when they're approaching their training and competitions.
So, hey, how about this? Let's clear up for people, because I reckon there's a lot of confusion around where you were talking before about you've got to grind it out versus, things being fluid and comfortable and easy. And, I can hear a lot of people thinking out there going, yeah, hold on a sec, guys. Sounds great to be all fun and playful and everything, but let's be serious here. Getting good at anything is hard work. So why don't we talk about clearing that space up for people where, you got to walk a certain path with that stuff to get it done right. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. So I think you need to have an understanding that you can still be working hard while you're playing. So why don't we talk about play in terms of practice? So where you're working with a coach and your team and you're designing your practice, and you can try and incorporate games and small competitions, things that are enjoyable, things that, I could beat you at, or just things, I think when you approach it from a more playful mindset, it also allows you to be like more creative and sort of open up different parts of your brain. It's not just this is hard work. It's like, all right, how can I don't know, adjust under pressure? Like, oh, I'm nervous. I really want to beat Matt in this putting comp or in this shot shaping competition. And it just, I think it changes your ability, like how you learn, and yeah, just to make you be more creative, and it just adds. And also, I think when you're more playful, you're more likely to get into that sort of flow state where you're not thinking super consciously about what you're doing. You're just totally engrossed in the activity that you're doing. You get just
okay. What about this tough question, Jordan? Tough question. What about, so should sport be a grind at all? Should there be any points in your training or journey as a sports person that is a grind? Tough one.
I think, yeah, realistically, I think every sport would have aspects of it that an athlete might not like or they might find hard. So, I don't know, it might be doing heaps of laps if you're a swimmer, or working on your technique if you're a golfer, like really working on technique. So I think it's ignorant to think that it's always going to be fun and playful. But I think if we have that mindset where we're, all right, I'm going to add it in as much as possible or bring it to the competition, you're putting yourself in a better place to be successful.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, again, just to double up on that, I think you're naive to think that, you know, you're just going to cruise through if you want to be the best of the best. There's going to be grind days. I mean, some athletes, depending on the sport as well, like, are going to have more kind of grind days than others. For example, you're a triathlete, you know, you got to get up at 4, your body's aching from the day before. You're probably not going to wake up and go, yippee, I get to go and do like an hour hard pull session at 4 a.m. in the freezing cold. Can't wait to get in. But, you know, that doesn't still mean that you can kind of make a joke about that. Like, you wake up and you can make a joke about how crap you feel, you know? And you're like, yeah, felt like this the last 10 days, but it's just going to ooze off me once I slide into that pool this morning, you know?
What about in competition? How would you approach a competition with playfulness?
Yeah, well, set it as a goal for starters. Like, we talk about goal setting a lot. Obviously, it's going to come up a lot, right? Now, one, people just don't set goals and write them down, so that's where they should start. And then two, if you're going to set some goals, include some of them to be non-results goals and to be more about exactly what we're talking about, where you experience a whole bunch of quality kind of creative, playful feelings around it. I mentioned that to one athlete not long ago, and they could not wrap their head around it. They're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I go to competition to win and accomplish my mission, and I just can't see how that's possible that I could have that and have a playful experience at the same time.
Yeah.
So
it's a big mindset shift for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can't be successful and compete at a high level and be having fun and playing.
Yeah. So we're saying you should have them all, and we're saying by having more play and creativity and relaxation in there, you'll actually achieve your goals and your dreams faster. That's my personal belief.
So a playful goal would be what, like telling a joke while you're playing golf, maybe in between shots, talking about something funny. Or What would another goal be like that?
Yeah, golf's an easier one because, you know, you can turn up, you can have some good chats with people, you can get out of your own head and get interested in some funny things that happening in other people's lives. I think some other sports are a bit more challenging, you know, like you don't have that time to interact sometimes. It's more like focused, demanding of boom, 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 got to make stuff happen. But you can still, as I say, where there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will to be playful, you can make it happen, whether it's on the way to the event.
Yep.
You might not be able
to before.
Yeah. Yep. Your pre-round, pre-event warm-up, you know, or even maybe the playfulness comes after it. I would try and encourage and find ways, even if you got to get a bit creative, to have it in all of them, before, during, and after.
Yeah. No, I like that. What do you think about if you also have this mentality? It also helps sort of maybe keep things in perspective. Like, it's if I don't play well today, the whole world's going to end. Everyone's going to hate me. And sometimes people take it so serious that it also robs the enjoyment. Where if I have that more playful attitude, I'm gonna keep my sport in perspective. You know, it's not life or death. No one's gonna shoot me. Just kind of being more relaxed, which is also very important for performing well. So.
Yep. I mean, my mind was just whizzing with like scenarios as you were talking about that stuff of times where I've seen athletes being over serious. The way I talk about it with young athletes and parents as well, I think this is a good one for parents, is a lot of people don't understand that whole trying the right amount thing. And I make a throw out line there, which is, hey, did you try the right amount in that last competition? And they're like, what do you mean? I tried my hardest. I was like, well, you probably didn't succeed then. And they're like, what? And parents as well, they look at you puzzled for a sec, like, what do you mean? You know, my son or daughter tried their hardest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, well, that's not necessarily your best. Your best is trying the right amount with playfulness mixed in there and, you know, relaxation mixed in there so that you're actually, you know, using your resources to the best level, not stressing them out.
Mm-hmm. Counterintuitive. Like, I should try as hard as I can to perform my best. That makes like common sense, but in reality, that's not how it is.
No, it's not how it is. But we're kind of all brought up in this society, I think, anyway, to buy into that line of thought. Look, I want to go down another line here, which is keeping the kid. While we're on kids and parents and stuff, like I'm 42 now, and I feel like I've still got a big kid in me. Okay. Some people out there think video games are a waste of time. Like, what? That's a waste of time. Why would you do that? I still love video games. I play them in 5-10 minute bursts, and the playfulness and creativity that it can pump into my brain is phenomenal, right? So that's just one way, though. You don't want to get caught up on that. What I'm interested in talking about here is athletes keeping the little kid alive in the back of their brain in their day-to-day practice. Give me some examples of what you see out there of like an athlete that's kept the kid alive and one that hasn't kept alive.
You can say maybe like an athlete like Usain Bolt. I kind of like how he has that swagger and it looks like he's really having fun. Seen a lot of athletes as well, where it's just like
good example, yeah.
They really look like, regardless of how they perform, you can look at this athlete after the competition and be like, man, that guy looked like he was enjoying himself. He was really present. He was in the moment, and it just looked like he was happy to be there. And so if you can make that a goal, to just look like you got a little bit of swagger, look like you're just happy and fun, I don't think you're going to look back and regret that. You're not going to be like, man, I wish I was more serious and just laser beam and look like I was hating life while I competed. I don't think you can look back and think that. So yeah, just kind of think about what does a happy, playful person look like, and like make that a goal for yourself.
Yeah. So when we talk about athletes going into competitions, we've already talked about kind of performance anxiety, conquering pressure, and really what we're talking about in this episode is this is your antidote to stress. This is your remedy, solution to if you're a stressful athlete and you're going into competitions and it freaks you out way too much beforehand. I mean, really, this is the topic that you need to be addressing and spending a lot of time on, which is, hey, how do I learn how to be playful and fun going into things? So it's like kind of like, what's the opposite of stress? It's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and thinking about it, like smiling, laughing, having a nice demeanor, and being like having conversations with other people. Those all look playful, and they don't look like you're super stressed. You can still be nervous and still really want to do well, but you've also got that less stressed, more playful mindset going on.
Right. So a lot of people with this stuff, they listen to it and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. That makes a lot of sense. Sounds interesting. Let's turn it into now takeaways for people. So how-tos. So what about how to put more perspective on this stuff? What do you think?
Yeah. So let's write some goals down. So next time next time you got a competition, create some goals. Obviously, you want to do well performance-wise, but this is how you want to be more playful. And whatever that is for you, I can't tell you what it is. Create a goal, whether that be telling jokes, laughing.
Yep.
Just whatever it might be. Make that a goal. It's not a performance goal. It's how you want to act and how you want to be.
Right, yeah. Okay, so I'll throw out maybe a couple of examples for people. Let's say you're a swimmer. Okay, so it might be, all right, in the warm-up, going into an event, a meet, you're going to make sure that you loosen up your body language a bit more than what you normally would. And that's it. You know, there's a nice simple way that you don't have to tell anyone anything. You don't have to announce it to the world. You're just going to loosen up your body language a bit and make sure you're not as stiff and rigid with stuff. There you go.
Yep, I like it.
You want to throw one in for golf maybe?
I think maybe in between the shots.
Yep.
Make it a goal to have light, fun conversations with your playing partners.
There you go.
So
just
something super chill, something that everyone finds funny, nothing too offensive, and just make it a goal for the day that I'm gonna engage in conversations like this.
Okay, cool. One last one, say BMX riders, right? BMX riding, you're going to really just love the idea of the freedom of feeling free on the bike that day. I mean, that's one of the best things about that sport. So, you know, attacking the corners, going in there with a nice sense of like, oh, how good's this to feel my body moving like this? And, you know, I mean, that's a more of a subtle way that you can put it into a competition. And then obviously after the competition, not like, this is the other thing. Athletes travel so far, and then some of them don't even realize the beauty of the place that they've gone to because they're not in that playful mindset. They're like in mission mindset. Right, I've flown halfway across the world, done my event, boom, let's get out of here, let's go. It's like, be playful. Go and check out the surroundings that you've traveled to that day to compete. You know,
all the cool people that you get to meet through sport.
Yeah,
other competitors, other elite athletes that are doing cool stuff. There's so much opportunity to be playful and enjoy other aspects of your sport.
Yeah. So what else have we got here? Let's talk while we're on to other people. In terms of a takeaway, not everyone understands this stuff, which is why we're talking about it. So let's say you go to training or you go to an event and people carry different energy with them, right? Some people may say the right things, but the energy's still low or whatever. With this stuff, you got to learn that if you want to maintain this as a standard for you with your sport, which we highly suggest, you're going to have situations where people are not going to be in a creative, playful environment that's going to just kind of like naturally promote it out of you. You know, like if you go to a party and everyone's laughing, you kind of like, you catch it a bit, right? You go to a depressed venue with everyone's sad, like, you know, you kind of catch that as well. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying here is you got to form a standard for yourself that you're not going to let other people drag and pull away your playfulness and creativity. Mm. You know, and people will kind of make comments to you like, you know, stop mucking around, like do it seriously or go home, you know, like, so yeah, what do you think on that?
Yeah, like putting a protective bubble around, this is going to be my mindset, and it's important because I know it's going to help me be more successful and have more fun. So regardless of how other people, competitors are reacting, I'm gonna stick to this. This is a goal, and I know it's the best thing I can be doing to help my success. So it's like, that's also something to be aware of. Don't let other people or other situations drag it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, but we've got to put it out there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Last takeaway for people. What have we got here? I think you came up with this idea here, and it was restructuring your practice. And I think this is probably the best idea of the lot, which is changing the way that you view practice with games, rewards, changing up how you go about things. Quick side story. I'd once did a job where I lived on an island, right? And it was like the dream job. Lived on an island, teaching golf, had 3 gourmet meals a day cooked for me. And I just thought I was in heaven, right? And one of the big learning experiences for me was I was on that island for around about 6 months. And after 3 months, I could not stand the food. The food there's no problem with the food. It was just the same damn food. Like you could predict Wednesday's meal by Monday, you know? And so this whole thing of restructuring and keeping things on the move, keeping things different in your practice.
Yeah.
Again, for me, that's an essential that athletes should be doing, not something which is like, oh yeah, now I got stale, so I decided to change things up. I think it should be pre-planned and worked out. So I'm sure you got some good ideas on this. Talk to us about restructuring your practice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like one of the guiding principles of how you're going to look at practice. So where can I be including little competitions, or just doing like extra things, like maybe you might go play a round of golf just with a 4-iron. See if you can just work out how to shoot a good score with one club, something like that. And then, although it might seem on the outset a little bit silly, it's actually going to have a lot of beneficial things. Like it'll open your mind up to trying different things and trying different feels and hitting different shots, and all of that stuff can actually be really helpful for like your future success. So it just opens up your mind, removes the stress, and just kind of takes away that looking at training like it has to be hard work all the time.
Mm-hmm. You can transform a training session for something that you're dreading to something that you can't wait to get to.
Yeah, that as well.
Which is
change your mindset. You're like, oh, I have to go and do laps for 3 hours after school. Or you're like, oh, I can't wait to play this little game with one of my competitors, or just add a little bit of, I don't know, extra incentive for getting some work done.
Yeah. So, like, for people doing something with that, because we really want people to do stuff with this, right? That's where you're going to get all the gems. I would say, see if you can come up with 3 ways that you can restructure your practice, training, whatever you want to call it, to have more play included in it. All right. So that's your challenge. To see if you can do that for, say, next week's training regime. If you're stuck for ideas, give us a yell. We might even be able to help you out.
Yeah. And maybe you don't know the answer straight away. And that's another good part of this, because then you have to think differently. And then you're getting out of your current mindset into a new one and thinking, how can I make this boring sounding training session fun and playful?
All right. Anything else for today, Jordan?
I think it sounds good. Yeah, just breaking the mold of society, and everything has to be hard work and everything has to be grinding to making things more playful. That's the message for today.
Love it. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. See ya.